Welcome to another episode of Just Me, and we are joined today by the fabulous Danielle McDermott. Now, Danielle, you have a huge story, big, big,
Yeah,
big. So tell us, who are you? Obviously, we know you're Danielle,
yeah.
and what do you do, and what have you done?
Oh, okay then. So well, where do you want me to start, Sid? Because there's a lot to me. So I'm a mum to a beautiful 10-year-old daughter,
Oh,
who is just my best friend and's got me through a lot of adverse times. I was an NHS worker for 20 years, but I did come out on health grounds this year. Because I was dealing with terminal cancer patients on a daily basis, and I didn't really get the chance to recover after everything I've been through. So I'm currently working towards qualifications, fitness. I've completed my level 2 and 3, gym instructor and personal trainer.
brilliant.
And I'm also working towards now my exercise referral course, which is absolutely solid. It's really hard. You're working with 15 different medical conditions.
Wow.
And then I have my cancer rehabilitation specialist course to complete. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Wow. So what was your journey to that then? Because I know that you spent, 20 years in the National Health, but something
Mm.
significant happened in it the last few years.
Yeah. I'll start off from being in the NHS. I set up a relaxation room to combat some of the psychological effects of a stroke. Now, I'd gone through a breakdown um, in 2016, I think it was. Could have
Mm.
been 2013 actually. And so whenever I've gone through adverse times, I always want to help people through that process
Yeah.
because I understand it. I've got the empathy. I've gone through the journey of certain things. So that took me to setting up the relaxation room from that breakdown. I was training as a counsellor and things like that because I wanted to help people down that route.
Yes.
But that wasn't on my path. So I was awarded Employee of the Year and I was
Wow.
nominated for Innovator of the Year and for Life After Professional Excellence for Life After Stroke. But unfortunately, 4 days after my award of Employee of the Year, I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 35.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was told I was going to lose my breast, which,
Wow.
as you can imagine, for a woman, your whole femininity is going to be taken away from you. But at that point, I didn't really take in that that's what was going to happen. I was in my head, I thought, well, okay, just take it away and they'll just build another one up and I'll have a new pair of dollies. And that's how I looked at it at that point.
Wow. Wow.
Mm.
But
So,
but
go on.
but didn't that really make you think? I mean, that must have stopped you in your track. I mean, you're a positive person, I know that,
Mm-hmm.
but that must have really hit you hard and really made you rethink about so much.
Massively. So I remember going to the clinic when I was in the clinic with my mum and my auntie, and I'd had to have a ultrasound, and I knew from that ultrasound, to be fair, that that's what I was going to be diagnosed with. And I'll go further into this, Sid, because
Mm.
um, I had a premonition that I had breast cancer months before. So automatically I started looking towards my left breast.
Wow.
And I saw myself walking up the corridor with a long beige coat on, a pair of patent leather stilettos and a red and white bandana. It was breast cancer, but I was going to be fine. So I
Wow.
was being warned spiritually that this was going to happen, which I didn't understand that process at the time because I wasn't spiritual. I didn't believe in anything like it, really.
Wow.
Um, so then I remember just before the awards, and I'm backtracking a little bit, I'm sorry. So before the awards, I was in bed with a chest infection with my daughter Holly because she was poorly as well. And I heard the voice, so that's called clairaudience.
Mm.
And it was a lady saying, check your breast. So as I checked my breast, I felt the lump, but I was so poorly, I fell back asleep. So again, something didn't feel right. I woke up from the obviously feeling the lump, but didn't
Mm.
realise that's what I'd felt. And I was thinking, something's not right here. But I didn't really register what had happened. So on the awards evening, I was saying to my twin sister, I was rubbing my chest and I said, something's not right here, twin. And she said, you've got a chest infection, you're on antibiotics. And I'm telling you now, it's not that.
Wow.
So then on the Sunday, this was the Friday, by the Sunday, I got out the shower, I was putting my cream on, and I heard the voice again, check your breast. So I checked it and found that's when I found the lump again. And I phoned my mum and I said, Mum, I found a lump. And she said her stomach just turned. She went, I knew it wasn't good. So I was sort of prepared, if you like. spiritually, but not realising I was. So then when I was in the clinic, I'd had the ultrasound, and they were checking under the breast, under the arm, because they have to check the axilla, which is the lymph nodes under the in the armpit. And I said, "What are you looking for?" And is everything okay? She said, "Yeah, I've just got to check over." And I thought, right, this is what it is. This is what it is. So as I had to have one mammogram, and then I went back to my desk because they couldn't do anything because I needed biopsies, so they could determine other things. But I was called back for a second mammogram about 20 minutes later. I just sat back on my desk, and then I had the call off my mum. Donna said to come back up, who's the breast nurse. So I was like, right, okay. I went into the room. I told my mum she didn't need to be with me at this point, but my auntie Linda was there. So as I come out of the second mammogram, they wanted to press harder on the breast. That's why I had to go in to see if I think it was calcifications, had to see if that was going to go. So as I come out of the clinic, my mum was sat there then, and her face was just completely white. And my auntie Linda sat me in between the two of them. They both grabbed my hand and went, "You're going to be okay, you know?" I went, yeah, that's fine. I know I will. Called in. My breast nurse, Donna, sat me down, drew a picture of her breast, and she had, there was 2 tumours. And I said, "I've got cancer." And she said, "Yeah." And I went, "Am I going to die?" Because that's the first thing that comes to your head, isn't it? Am I going to die? And then you start, everything else starts coming into that then. So I walked out of that clinic room just absolutely devastated. Donna said, "Absolutely not, you're not going to die. You're going to need a mastectomy, and then we've got to do the biopsies, and then we'll determine everything else from them." Wow. So, I've just won this amazing award. We've got over 4,000 staff in the hospital, and I'm the winner. And you think you'd be on cloud 9, but obviously being told this devastating news, I was walking down the corridor, and a lot of the porters who I've known for a long time were all cheering me on, people congratulating me. But I'm in absolute devastation mode, crying, couldn't breathe. I had my mum and my auntie holding me up because I just was completely numb at this point. And then you can see people just, you sort of reflect back, don't you? And you can see people's eyes going, what's going on, what's going on? So I went into my 2 managers at the time, and I went, "It's cancer, I've got cancer." And they were like, "Danielle, just go home." And, they were devastated. And I was like, "No, I'll be back in tomorrow. Just let me go. I'll be back in." And they're like, "Danielle, you need time to process it." And I went, "I'm going to do what I need to do right now." Because you have to do what feels best for you at that time, don't you? And I think sitting around moping about it wasn't going to change anything. So I got home that night, and I was with my daughter's dad at the time. And he was probably in shock as well, but he was being a little unkind and getting quite shouty with me, and that was hard. I remember sitting there saying, "I'm scared," but this relationship wasn't great, and this was something that was going to come to the surface at some point. So that night, I'm lying on the bed. I couldn't sleep at all. I had Holly's dad asleep and Holly both fasties, and I looked at this man and I thought, if I die tomorrow, what have I done with my life? And that was the start of a turnaround in my whole life from that point. I thought, I've lived my life through your eyes, and I've never done anything for me. I've been a mum, I've been a stepmom, and I've been a partner, and I've given everything of myself to a hospital. But I've lost myself in the process because I do what other people want me to do because I'm not given. So for me, I had to now figure out a new life, but I didn't realise that was going to come. That this has took quite a bit of time. So obviously you have to go through the process of your biopsies. I had to go back on the Thursday to have that. And you're living in total fear at this point because you don't know if the cancer spread. I just know I had it. Deep down, I knew I caught it early, but you can't rationalise that at that time because obviously you just hear that word, don't you? I had a lot of support. I was very, very fortunate, but I did continue to go back to work until I knew what was happening. And you have to wait 2 weeks for those results to come. So that's a long, God, the only way I can describe this is like when you're watching a movie and something really traumatic's happened to the actor in the movie, and they're in a train station and everyone's going at fast speed, but this person's just stuck, looking around going, what the hell's just gone on? What's got, in total fear. That's the only way I can describe how my life was at that point. Even going into work, I was quite bizarre in my behaviour. It was shock. I was just going up to people going, oh, I've got cancer, I'm going to lose my breast. Just saying it like it was normal, and people were crying, and I'm going, what are you crying for? And they went, because we know the journey you're going to be going through now. I went, don't worry about it, I'm going to be fine. And I always knew I was going to be fine, but mentally, hadn't accepted it. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, looking back in your life, so what have you learned along the way? I mean, obviously, cancer, huge trauma, but what are the other lessons that you've learned along the way?
Cut negativity out and try
Oh,
and reduce your stress levels, because when you work in a hospital, and I'm very thankful for that part of my life,
mm,
because it's
mm,
taught me so much, and the people I've met have been incredible, and I've learned a lot of life lessons in there.
mm.
You're seeing a lot of the sadness of life, aren't you?
Yeah.
But what I'm learning is to be more kinder to myself, and start not to be so given, because I always believe we're put on this earth to help people. That's why we are here, and we all have our different ways in helping. You have your nurses, you have your doctors. That's their way of
Mm,
helping. You have your police, you have your shop workers, whatever anyone's doing, we're there to help someone along the way. And that's before cancer. I wasn't looking after me. I
mm,
was, putting myself into, I was working full time. I was doing all sorts of courses to try, and because I come out of school with nothing. So for me, my education started when I was 30. And actually for the last 9 years, take out the cancer journey, all I've done is done courses to develop myself in my education.
mm,
But with learning, I think because I've gone through so much pain through the behaviours of others, not
mm.
I hold on to it. It's not been a lot, but I hold on to it, if you
Yeah.
like. So it's about learning to let go of things, because all that, we can change our gene expression by our thoughts and our
Mm,
environment. And this is one thing I've really learned, and this is something I'm learning at the moment. I've got a book, Change Your Genes, Change Your Life.
mm,
And I think now I know now that we can create diseases in our body by what we put in our minds, and what we surround ourselves with, who we surround ourselves with.
yeah, it's interesting, isn't there? There's a chap
Mm.
called Joe Dispenza, and he talks a lot about this. And that there's something like over 70% of modern illnesses that doctors are seeing are due to modern lifestyle. In other words, our thoughts. I mean,
Yeah,
they
your
really,
five
really
top
are.
cancers are lifestyle related.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So what and who has helped you along your journey?
Ooh, well, obviously my family for starters.
Mhm.
They've
Yeah.
been amazing. My mum and dad both had cancer. My mum was 38 when she was diagnosed with cervical cancer. We were only, me
Wow.
and my twin sister were 10 at the time, so Gary would have been about 14, and I think Craig would have been 8. So yeah, we were all young when she went through that. And I vaguely remember going to the hospital with her because I fell over a bag. But we didn't understand the impact that what she was going through at that time, because we were only young. And my dad's had prostate cancer. So when I was diagnosed, I remember my mum was just in total tears, but my dad said, don't sit moping around. And those two never sat moping around. So they've been massive lessons for me, my mum and dad, watching them two overcome things, even though I was young. I mean, my dad was 60, I think he'd just turned 60 when he was diagnosed. Yeah, because he's
Right.
12 years on, he's 72 now. And so they've been a massive inspiration of mine, looking up to them too. And how they say it is, it's gone, move on, type of thing. And that's how they did it. They didn't
Mm.
hold on to it. And my mum's nearly 30 years on from her diagnosis and stuff.
Wow.
Also, I think just meeting other people who've gone through cancer as well have been a great support, because when I was first going into the hospital to have my mastectomy, a lot of the women were older, and I was thinking, oh my God, I'm 35. If this comes back in
Mm.
10 years, I'm going to be 45. I'll be dead. Because that's all the thoughts that go through. That's the thought process you have. And then I met other, as I was going through my chemotherapy, I did meet other young ladies, and
Mm.
they were a massive support in that part, and a massive learning curve and stuff. And um, I've got myself a coach, Andy Roberts. He was fantastic. He was a
Brilliant.
major support. And then I got myself into training, and I think you've got to be your own support as well to get yourself out of it.
Brilliant.
That's the main. You're the main one who rewrite your story when you've gone through something.
That's really cool.
Mm.
So what obstacles have kind of hindered you and helped you? Because I mean, I know that
Obstacles.
you do a lot of work in kind of, diversity and all that kind of, getting over stuff. So what are the obstacles that have really kind of tripped you up, and the ones that have kind of helped you?
The obstacles that trip me up is the learning aspect academically. That's
Right.
the things I find really hard, and that can hold me back because of lack of confidence in that area. Because I am a confident person in a lot of ways, but we all have our own little niche, don't we, in life, and we have our own learning styles. And I think for me, that's been a massive part that's held me back with certain part of the learning aspect. Being in a difficult environment was a massive lesson to learn, because I went back to work 6 weeks post chemo.
Wow.
So 4 weeks after that, I was offered a patient-facing role, and maybe in me, yeah, I'll do it, but masking the fear that I was living at anyway. And then I ended up having a breakdown after 2 years. But that's got to be a massive lesson for me. Yeah, I was really struggling, because I would give, it doesn't matter what pain I'm feeling and what fear I'm living in at the moment, as long as those patients are okay, then that was my main focus again. So I wasn't looking after me. So that's been an obstacle in the way, because I was, again, giving so much to everyone else and not myself. Holly's been a massive blessing in it. She's been a massive support as my daughter. What other obstacles? I went back to the gym 3 weeks post chemo, and then I had a little setback through the completion of the reconstruction surgery. So that took me back 4 months. Then I had what I didn't realise: when you exercise and you've got your immune system suppressed, you can contract infection when you're putting too much stress on the body. And I ended up with a chest infection and pleurisy. That knocked me back for 4 months, because I was training for SAS, Who Dares Wins. That was a goal I had, and my other goal was to write a book. And for me, I have to keep my mind occupied, so I'm not really facing what I've actually gone through. And that was another lesson I had to learn, because I had to face it. I had to ride that storm for me to come out of the other side. And I wasn't letting myself, because I was blocking that process of grieving.
Wow. So what keeps you going when times get really tough? I mean, where do you dig deep to?
Looking how far I've come. I always reflect back, and I think that's what, sometimes like anyone, we have our meltdowns, don't we? But I think looking back at how far I've come from that diagnosis, or from even being in the relationship I was in, excuse me, as that's really pushed me forward and going, right, okay, so what is it that I remember? So when I split up with my ex-partner, financially, that he wasn't supporting, and in my head, not that he should give me money, he should do this, because we all have our own choices and whatever. And I always believe you've got to stand on your own 2 feet, but I needed that little bit of support at the time, because obviously I'd come out of work, I'd gone to half pay, and the pivotal moment for me was when I asked him to support me a little bit financially, and he said, "You left the relationship, it's your own fault, you've got no money." And I just walked out of there absolutely in floods of tears, phoned my brother Craig up, and he went, "Danielle, don't worry about it." He said, "I'll support you." And he has, for the last couple of years, been really supporting me financially, and I'll be forever thankful to him. But I remember coming home that night, I was still wounded, and I ended up going to bed, and I woke up that morning, I went, "I'm not spending another day crying over someone who's not going to support me, who's never been there for me when I've needed them." And I thought, it's only you who can do this. What's going on here? Why are you sitting there crying over someone who's, you can't live your life through other people. You've got to live it through you. So for me, that was the moment I went, right, okay, what do I want to do with my life? I had to figure out, because I always say, if you don't know your purpose in life, follow your passion and it'll lead you to your purpose. And I didn't realise that until that moment. And I thought, right, okay, so what do I want to do? Well, I like exercising. Well, you've paid for 2 courses there to do the level 2 and 3. So why don't you I'd only literally done 2% of the course. And I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna finish that course off. That's what I'm gonna do.
Brilliant.
And I ended up, and within 6 months I'd done the level 2 and 3. And I thought, well, I want to train ladies who've had cancer. But because I didn't want to just be a personal trainer, not that, no disrespect to personal trainers, by the way, because there's a lot of fantastic trainers out there. but it needed a purpose for me, more meaning behind it.
Mm.
Because and then I was like, well, yeah, I'll train the ladies who've had cancer or who are living with it. Okay, do you know what? I'm going to open my own gyms. I'll do that UK wide, and that was my moment then to go. This is why you've gone through what you went through, and that's what's pushed me forward now to put the work in. And sometimes I've had to take a step back and look after me, and I'm learning that.
Mm.
But that's really what now I'm excited for the future, because I know there's a true purpose, and I know spiritually I'm on the divine plan, so I have big tasks ahead of me. So that's what's pushing me forward now. And spirit, I do feel spirit around me. I don't know if you believe in it, Sid, but I always feel like a cold breeze, and that's just spirit letting me know, we're here, we're going to support
Oh,
you. So
lovely.
I go, no, that's okay. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. So, what advice would you give to others?
Advice: ride
Mm.
the storm, because
Oh.
you have to. What is it in the breast clinic? They have a quote: life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. And that's really, I've got that in my bathroom now, and I really do believe that you have to feel every emotion and go through that grieving process to really
Mm.
overcome it. And people don't realize the psychological impact of it after a cancer diagnosis. And it's not that you don't have to have lost a body part. It's a frightening journey, but ride it, feel it, and then find a way of moving from it and find your purpose, because sometimes cancer's given to you to shake up your life, and I believe that. And for me, I went through it because that was the start of my whole life changing, because I've flipped everything. I've just sold my house. I'm going to move away over to Cheshire Ways. I've left the relationship I was in. I've left a job I'd known for 20 years. I'm starting from scratch. But I had to make small changes before I made the bigger changes. So I
Brilliant.
recognised that small. So, okay, my first change was to change the gym I was in, because it was that reminder constantly and people looking at you
Mm.
when you've lost your hair and everything. So
Mm.
for me, it was, I'll change that. Oh, actually, that's making me feel good. Well, do you know
Mm.
what? I'm going to do something else that makes me feel good. So I'll continue to do that. But I had to face up to the things that were really causing me the pain and the stress and the anxiety, because all of that, I believe, caused my cancer. And I knew I had to let go, as hard as it was. I had to do it for me and my daughter, and to show her that we've all got that, to build a strong resilience within her as well.
Mm.
Because life's not going to throw things at you. You have to work hard to get to it, but you have to make the right choices for you as well. You can sit, and I always say, you can either become wounded or you become wiser.
That's very
And yeah, and I have been wounded, and I've let myself be wounded, because we have to, again, because if you're just suppressing all those emotions, at some
mm.
point in your life that's going to come to the surface, and that's when it really knocks you, because it did me for 2 years, and I've had to learn hard lessons along the way for me to actually go, no, okay, this something's not gone right here. Okay, have your cry, feel the pain, and then what are you going to do to change it? So that's what it
Brilliant.
is with a lot of, and this is what I want to help people with as well who've gone through cancer. I want to change lives with it, because once you've had cancer, it changes the way you live your life for the rest of your life. And not
Mm.
everyone knows how to move forward,
Mm.
because they've been conditioned, like society conditions us, doesn't it? Our parents condition us because they've been conditioned to think a certain way. You know, I remember my mum saying, well, what are you going to do? You've left, you're going to leave your job. You've got money coming in. I went, Mum, I really don't care right now. I need to look after me. And she even said to me, she went, you know what? You've got balls for what you've done. And
Oh.
even with selling my house, and she went, I'm going to go back to my mum's for a few months just to get myself settled. And she went, you don't have to move out there quick, And I went, I know, because I'm very fortunate to have the parents I've got. I love them very dearly. But I just said to my mum, I have to make these changes in my life, because I've been given a second chance. And if you're given a second chance, you have to grab it with both hands. As hard and scary as it is, it's only
Mm.
you can do it.
Mm.
So that'll be my advice. If you're not
So
happy, change it.
I love that. I love the ride the storm. Love that.
Yeah.
So what do you see as the magic that you've got in yourself that you can share with others?
Do you know what? I this do you know right? So the last couple of months I've actually realised that I am special and I've got something special to give.
Mm.
And I think inner strength is what is we've all got it. We've all got it. We've all got a bit of magic in us.
Mm.
But for me, I didn't realise how much had gone through and how much I'd overcome and how I'd overcome that. So I'd say it's me inner strength and me strong resilience that I didn't realise I had. That's my magic.
That's lovely. That's really nice.
Yeah.
And what gives you that fizzy pop moment where everything's kind of exploding inside you and you kind of think, oh yeah, it's fantastic. What type of thing do you encounter and you do that gives you that?
When I know someone's going to benefit from it. So if I know I'm helping someone, I know that I'm making a difference in their life. I'm
Mm.
being a support for them. That's what gives me the fire, and that's what makes me excited inside, because I know that, when I put posts up on social media and stuff, the amount of people that reach out to me, and you don't realise
Mm.
that it's helping people. So
Mm.
for me, that's what does it. I think seeing or hearing how it's made people feel when they've just read a post or when they've had a conversation with me. I'd done a talk in a school a couple of weeks ago, and one of the children said to me, she went, for the first time I felt seen, and that for me was
Oh.
powerful. And I went, oh my God. Because sometimes you're a bit, I don't know if you feel the same, you're wary about speaking about, I don't know what your talk's about, Sid, but
Mm.
when you talk and you're sharing your vulnerability, sometimes it can, I don't know, you can have that little bit of anxiety with it, can't you? Thinking, is this going to backfire on me? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you're putting yourself out there, aren't you? And you're
Yeah.
exposing yourself. And,
Yeah.
the one thing you don't want is for people to kind of look at you and laugh and kind of go, oh, well, that's not
Yeah.
right, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just the helping people. That's what I'm here for, is to help and guide and change and save lives, change lives, because what I'm going into will save lives, and it will educate people, because I've got the support. I've got
Mm.
a mentor, Dr. Colin Robertson, who's absolutely incredible, and he's got a lot of research. He's a sports scientist,
Mm.
and he helps cancer patients anyway. But that man has really taken me under his wing, and I'm very, very thankful for that. And it's going to be a beautiful journey to go on. So that's the fizz in my belly. That's keeping me
That's
going.
lovely. That's really nice. And what legacy would you like to leave behind?
A legacy. Oh, well, I've got my daughter there, so I want her to look up to me and be that strong, independent woman. I don't want her to live a life through a man's eyes. That's one big thing. But also being that Bodicea, so the warrior queen, to inspire other ladies and gents, to
Mm.
inspire the world. That's my legacy. I want to help inspire others to make positive changes in their lives. So, do you know, if we all had the same mindset and we were all positive and everything, and we were all kind, what a beautiful world we'd live in.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it be perfect? So I
Yes.
want to do, obviously we're doing the talks in the schools and things. I'm speaking to the kids about unkindness and
Mm.
and the effect that can have on a person mentally and physically,
Mm.
because the stress that someone's words or someone's behaviour can put onto another person, that can create a disease in their body. And that's what I
Mm.
want to be putting out there as well. So it's helping inspire. That's my legacy, just to inspire.
Love it. And if you were to use one word to describe yourself, what would it be?
One word.
Mm.
Oh, couldn't you say that, Sid? Oh, oh, God, you've got me there. To describe me, loving. That's the only
Oh,
words I'll use. Loving, because I've got a lot of love to give. I sound like
that's
Stella
lovely.
Black. A lot of love.
That's really lovely.
Yeah,
I mean, your plans to start this gym. I mean,
yeah.
when might that start so people know?
Well, I'm gonna be going over to the underground training station to do some practical learning, because I feel I need that right now. So by next year, the start of next year, I'll start. The end of this year to the start of next is when I'll have my own gym open, or starting to look for the premises. Because
That's
my
amazing.
dad's a business advisor as well, so he's helping me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, we'll let people know when it launches, and
yeah.
we
Thank
wish
you.
you the very best of luck. And it's lovely talking to you. I mean, I've talked to you a couple of times, and
Yeah,
the thing that I love about you is that it's very grounded. It's not there's not pomp and ceremony with you. It's just this is who I am.
Yeah.
It's really I don't like the word normal because there is no normal, but it's very everyday in a really lovely way. It's very easy to engage with you, and I think that's so beautiful.
Thank you, Sid. And I think that's what life needs because, you know, there's so many unrealistic expectations of people, especially when it comes to
Mm,
social media and stuff. And that's not reality of life. You know, you've got to come into the hardship of life and show that
mm,
life is going to throw so much at you that's going to be so devastating.
mm,
But, you know, if we, you know, I'm looking at social media now and I feel awful looking at these women and, you know, because obviously I'm going into the fitness side of things. You've got people putting pictures on of the perfect body. Now, I haven't got a perfect body. Now I've lost my breast. So that's unrealistic for you to throw
mm,
that on me. You've got women who work full time. You've got women who, or men, who are single parents, who
mm.
haven't got much money. And people are going, you can look like me in 6 weeks. All I want to promote is happy and healthy. That's all I want. I want people to be happy and healthy. Body changes will come naturally. I think I've lost my train of thought. Sid. I do that, you know. I think it's the tamoxifen.
I mean that actually those two words, three words, happy and healthy. I love that.
That's all
The
it's
thing is,
about.
and it's that thing, isn't it? Because we almost think that everything's an instant fix, and it's not. It's a
No, it's
long
not.
journey. It takes its little incremental kind of
Yeah,
changes, isn't it, that you do?
it is. And small changes turn to big changes. And I
Yeah,
think with, oh God, say I've lost my train of thought again. Sorry, Sid.
it's all
Carry
right.
on.
Little changes make big changes.
Yeah, they do, and yeah, it's the pressure, isn't it? That
Yeah.
social media or society we all put on each other. No, this is, you know, we're all on our own journey. We're all on a. We all have the destination we want to get to. But some
Mm,
people, you know, you have your people that are quite happy. They get married, they have the children, and you know they're just living life, going to work 9 to 5, and they're happy doing that. You have
mm,
your other people who are really fed up, stuck in jobs that they hate, stuck in relationships that they hate, but don't know how to maneuver forward from that because they're too scared to take in the leap. Then you have your other people who are going to want to move forward, want to inspire. I remember my brother Gary saying to me, my older brother, when he goes to work, he said, I've seen people sitting there looking so fed up, going, I've got to go to work in the car. And he went, once I feel like that, I move on. I know Gary
yeah,
is, and he really pushes himself into new things. If you
that's
know, if
brilliant.
it's not serving him a purpose, so I mean, that's just life anyway, isn't it? We're all different.
Mm,
We all want different things in it. But I think the amount of people that have reached out to me with relationships they're in, excuse me, or they're unhappy in the job and they're
mm,
stressed. And one thing I have found is that large environments can put a lot of pressure on staff and
mm.
stress. And I think that's something I really want to talk about more, not obviously on here, but I think that is not healthy. Those environments are not healthy. We need to be changing those environments as well as the younger generation. There's so much that needs to be changed in the world. I'm going to try my best to do it.
I
So yeah,
love
it's
that,
it. I just want
Danielle.
people to be happy. That's what it's all about. Life's for living, not for being miserable.
Yeah, ride the storm, be happy, and be healthy.
Yeah, just find you. You know, we all need to, not a lot of
Mm,
people are too scared to look in the mirror and find themselves and who
mm,
they truly are because
mm.
the lack of confidence or, you know, they don't believe in themselves. So
Yeah,
I want to help people believe and see their own beauty because we're all unique, we're all beautiful, and we've all got something to give to the world.
I love that, Daniel. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much. Seriously,
Thank you,
thank
Sid.
you.